Greetings. My name is Elena Brower, and I am here from New York City, mother of one, Jonah, who's 10, and a teacher of yoga and meditation for the past 20 years. I'm so honored to be here today for you with the Empowered Life series, presenting on the energetics of essential oils and yoga. Before we begin, it's nice to consider how the presence of oils can enhance or amplify your practice of yoga and meditation. And I've created for myself a ritual that has helped to inform how I teach my classes and how I lead my team. So I'd like to share that with you today, along with some fine points on which oils I've chosen and why, and sort of create a context for you to generate a ritual of your own and cultivate a practice of your own with your oils and your yoga or meditation or both. Before I begin to practice, I always take a few minutes to clear my space and just move out of the way anything that might be distracting to me or take me off my mat, and that takes just a few minutes of my time. And then I begin by considering a few words that point to how I would like this day to go, and I call that my intention. And as I take a few moments to sit and listen here in my meditation space, I will wait for a few breaths until the word or sentence or words comes to me. Some days it doesn't come straight away, and I will actually open up a book that I have in my bookshelf and see if I can find something there. And always I find just the right thing almost instantly. On this particular day that I designed this presentation, which was quite recently, there were 4 words that came: stability, vitality, neutrality, and harmony. And I'll talk a little bit about each of these words just so it can kind of get solidified for you as it did for me. Stability for me is what my movement, my yoga practice does for me, my asana practice. And really, if you were to talk to the masters of yoga, the asana or posture practice is really meant to take you to the quote-unquote real yoga, which is the seated meditation and the practice of going inside to oneself, to one's own heart. Vitality is what I feel every single time I move my body, every time I take a seat to meditate. That comes. And on this particular day, when I was creating this presentation, I was nervous to create it. And I needed these 4 words. Neutrality is an interesting one because it doesn't imply weakness at all. In fact, it implies a state of holding no tension in my system with anything. And so particularly on days when I'm feeling challenged or doubtful or afraid, neutrality is really good because it brings me back to a state of ease when I just think of the word. And as you'll see in a moment, now I have an oil to go with that sensation. And finally, harmony is what I feel in my heart and my mind whenever I sit and meditate. And I feel like there are a few oils that give us harmony, but there's one in particular that I really love and I can't wait to share with you. But first, once I have the word or words of intention written, and sometimes I'll write them on a little watercolor card or I'll write them in my journal, I'll say them out loud until I feel a resonance, a landing in my heart space. And I know this because my breath deepens, my whole body kind of softens, my heart slows down, and my eyes usually close. My mind seems a bit quieter as well. And I can't recommend this highly enough, but Laura Jacobs in her February talk on the Empowered Life series was epic in describing how the oils can help us partner with our emotions and help us to be more responsive and less reactive. And I found it very valuable to me and to my family as well. If I believe, as Laura explains, in my power to be stable and vital and neutral and harmonious, that is precisely what will happen throughout the day. Even when it seems like things are faltering, becoming more difficult or challenging, if I believe in my power to maintain this intention, these 4 words, they will stick around. The photograph that's featured here on this slide was a quote that really impacted me early on in my business. Real fearlessness is the product of tenderness. And I posted it over 2 years ago, I believe. And for many, many months at the beginning of my sort of taking on my leadership role in my organization, I diffused elevation and cypress together. Now, together, you may or may not know that elevation is not only stabilizing, but also brings joy. And I didn't know that at the time, and I wasn't a huge fan of the scent until I paired it with cypress, which is all about flow and movement in your heart and your mind. It's all about trust. It's all about letting go of what isn't needed. And so I use these two together to create that sensation in my space of flow, of releasing doubt, of elevating my mood, of stabilizing me, of learning how to trust. And it worked. And I've been using that blend for so long, and I love it so much. And I have to force myself to try other things because it's so impactful for me. Once I've chosen my word or words of intention, I will select an essential oil to pair with that intention. And on this particular day, my day of stability and vitality, neutrality and harmony, I chose Intune. The first moment that I hear the word harmony, that's the first oil I grab. And I've actually done a little slide for you on Intune because I find that many people don't actually know about this oil, and it's so important to me and to my family. I'll use it on my pulse points, my forearms, my temples, and it's great because it's a roller ball, so it's very easy to apply, and I keep it right near my desk at all times. And then sometimes I'll actually wait to fill the diffuser until after my yoga and meditation has ended so that I can sort of continue the resonance in the space throughout the day. So here's your Intune. It's my favorite. It is the focus blend, that's what it's known as, but it creates a sense of harmony, supports a sense of harmony, body and mind. The constituent oils, there are many, but sandalwood, frankincense, and lime contribute to a sense of overall well-being, while the benefits of patchouli, ylang-ylang, and Roman chamomile are super calming and soothing. I just can't say enough about this oil. It's become my scent. You can take a few moments here, and we'll do this together, to rub a few drops of I have my Intune right here, of your essential oil right into your hands. Pick any oil that you have nearby. Rub it into your hands, and then take your hands right to your face. Inhale all the way down into your lungs. And then as you exhale, gently release. And you can leave your hands there for a few breaths, or you can just place them down on your thighs if you wish. And we'll take a minute to breathe here together and allow the oil to reach into our cells. So as you breathe, inhaling in through your nostrils, and it can be silent or audible as you wish, but we'll move towards silence over the course of the next several breaths. Your eyes can be open or closed as you wish. And as you breathe here, continue to make your breath a little more quiet and see the breath traveling in through your nostrils up into the space just behind your eyes. And we'll take it a step further. As you breathe in through your nostrils up into that space, follow the breath as it gently then falls down and fills your belly. And then as you exhale, the breath getting bigger, bring your navel, your belly button towards your spine, and invite the breath out through your nostrils once again. So again, you're inhaling in through your nostrils, down into your belly. And exhaling from your belly out through your nostrils. Continue there for about 5 more breaths. Just notice your breath getting more and more voluminous and luminous, quieter. And notice how it seems like your mind is getting more quiet. Last breath or two, full breath from your nostrils down into your belly. And from your belly, navel back to spine, out through your nostrils, releasing. Good. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes gently. Very nice. How exactly does that work, after all? Of the five senses, smell is the only one that connects the outside world to the brain directly. And the effect is immediate, as you can see. When you inhale your oil, the molecules of the oil travel all the way back to the epithelial cells at the rear of your nasal cavity. And then they're introduced to the olfactory bulb, where they cross the blood-brain barrier to reach your limbic brain. And that's the seat of your emotions, your instinctive brain. That's the reactive brain. Those molecules, as they bring this new and very nourishing information into your brain, they help us to dissolve stress energy by connecting us to nature. And you all know how it feels to be walking in the forest or in the wood or near the water where the blues and greens are all over your eyes and you feel like nothing can really bother you there. That's what these oils are bringing to us on a moment-to-moment basis. And it's so helpful to take our intention for lowering stress or boosting our immunity or helping our day along in some very positive way. Adding the oils to it brings nature to it. We are now learning how to, as Laura Jacobs says in her presentations, partner with our emotions. Using our oils, we get in front of our emotions. We take charge of our emotions and we begin to choose our responses rather than aimlessly offering reactivity in places where it shouldn't be. And especially when things get challenging or important, as you most likely know already, but now you can start to do it intentionally. Our oils support that responsiveness. Our intention does help our brain to stabilize in the direction of positivity, helps it move in the desired direction, and our yoga and meditation help our bodies to strengthen and open to that reality. Add to that our oils, which amplify and enhance the effects of both. The common denominator shared by all three, our intention, our movement, our practice, and our oils, is that everything that we're talking about here in this presentation, everything is enhancing positive brain chemistry. And here in this slide, you have the tarot card that I pulled one day, the frankincense that I was obsessed with for the longest time at the very beginning of my business, and the intention that I set, I am home. I wanted so badly to feel at home as a leader and at home in my business, and this is how I worked with it. So just to clarify, before I start my practice, I'll have my little piece of paper with my intention on it. I might swipe or drop a couple of drops of my chosen essential oil onto that little piece of art with my intention on it, because that will help me remember it throughout the day. And if I haven't mentioned, I think I have, I like to use little watercolor paper because the watercolor paper actually holds the oil really nicely. And then I can place that little piece of art near my computer or near my books where I'm working, near my mat where I'm studying. I can put it in my wallet and carry it with me and remind myself throughout my day. I love doing that, tuck it away with a little crystal in my pocket. That's a really effective way to remind myself of my intention throughout the day as well, especially when things are hard. And throughout the day, I continue to remind myself of that intention, which positively impacts everyone who comes near me, as my son can attest to. When you reset your own limbic brain, everyone around you is able to do the same. It's called limbic resonance, and it's a very important phenomenon that happens amongst human beings and humans and animals, where, and you can think of it this way, have you ever seen someone walk into a room super positive and suddenly you felt better? You felt uplifted. We've all had a teacher like that or a dear friend like that. You can even close your eyes for a moment and think of someone like that who just brings the love all the time. This is what we're looking for in our own beings. This is where the oils can help us. Now we've covered your intentions. Now we can bring our awareness to your movement And this is a fun little exploration into your brain and how it works with your body. The movement center in your brain is called the primary motor cortex, which is connected to your adrenal glands. This is a very important fact here. Every time you move, when you exercise, whether it's yoga or cardio or preferably a combination of the two in some way, hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which are produced when you're super stressed out, are kept to a minimum. And this is really interesting for all of us, because if we can keep those hormones and that production to a minimum, the body's immunity is boosted. Okay? The more those hormones are released into the bloodstream, the lower our immunity becomes, the easier it is for us to get sick, the more vulnerable and fragile the system becomes overall. And specifically, when you practice yoga, and this is why I have stuck to the practice for all these 20 some odd years, you are moving and working with the lymphatic system. Now, when you circulate lymph throughout your body, which is basically helping the body rid itself of toxicity and disease, anything that leads to sensations of inflammation or even stiffness, you are helping your immunity along. And even more specifically, you have lymph channels everywhere throughout your body. But you have these little filtering stations throughout the body known as lymph nodes. You have them in your throat. Most of us know about that. You have them under your arms, groin area, ankles, right on your ankle bone. And every time you move, you're actually stimulating these filtering stations to circulate lymph throughout your body. And the lymph carries what are called lymphocytes. Those are white blood cells, which help to destroy bacteria and move viruses out of your body. So the lymphatic system is actually relying on, and I've shown you a few pictures here of some of the postures that I do most often. The postures are relying on the way in which you're moving your muscles. The lymphatic system is relying on the way in which you move your muscles to wring out these nodes and move the lymph along so that you can have an optimized system, optimized specifically your immune system. Now, knowing this, we also learned that the contraction of the muscles around those filtering stations, around the lymph nodes, is what really does the trick. So a lot of yoga postures, these were designed thousands of years ago by masters who understood this, are all meant to help boost your immunity. During or after practice, I will most likely diffuse oils that are high in linalool, another learning from David Cahill. This is a chemical component that helps to relax smooth muscles in the body and also reduce both sad and anxious feelings. Some examples are petitgrain, lavender, clary sage, basil, cilantro, and coriander. Now, with the exception of lavender, all the rest of these oils were ones that I really didn't gravitate towards. And when I learned this a couple of years ago, I began to experiment with all of them. And combining basil and coriander with other oils, citrus oils, and lavender, combining clary sage with things like sandalwood and bergamot, all of this is helping to ease my state. The first state change happens very often when I just fill up the diffuser in the morning. And if I do it before my practice, it's an immediate response from my body, an immediate smile, not just from my face, but all over my body feels it. Now, ultimately, the choice is yours as to how you work with your oils in your practices to bring about your desired intention. And you can work with it for your day, your week, your month, or even a project or an action or an interaction. And I'll just give you a quick synopsis of the ritual that I do every day so that it's clear. First, select your intention and know what you're going to practice and choose your oil. Second, write your intention down and perhaps add your oil to that little piece of paper or your journal entry. Third, you can place a few drops of that oil between your hands and inhale. Take a few breaths like we did here together today. Such a sweet pause. Then you can read your intention aloud until it's true for you, until it lands in your heart space, until your eyes close and your body feels it is true. Then move to cultivate the currents of energy throughout your body. after which you can either diffuse during your practice or you can diffuse after your practice, which most often is what I do. And then you can carry or place your intention near you during your day, pocket, wallet, near your workspace. Mine's sitting right here, right now. Mine today is let good people close to you. Notice how it changes your state of being. Our team, lastly, in closing, encourages, as I mentioned, the use of keeping a journal of how you love your oils and how you use your oils, and more specifically over the course of your work and your day, not just with your intention, but overall, it's really nice to keep a record of how the oils impact you, because that will be an invaluable tool, teaching tool for your classes and your presentations, your workshops, and so forth. These are basically called our self-care notebooks, and they're really valuable resources for ourselves personally and for our growing team. Finally, the discipline and joy of a daily practice delivers love to every one of your cells. And with a practice, you may find that there is a new sense of ease and feeling at home in your body. This is my wish for all of us. And as it becomes consistent, my prayer is that you find the busyness of your mind resting, coming to a nice, complete rest in your knowing heart. I wish you all the success in your yoga, in your meditation, using your oils with both. Sending you so much love and gratitude. Thank you so much. Have a great day.